this is Frankie Abbruzzino with EDG Realty. You can reach me at realestatebyfrankie.com. Today we're getting advice for renters price it out of their home. I was reading an interesting article by Barbara Marquand, and basically she reflected on the fact that a lot of renters are being priced out of home buying. And why is that? We have home prices that are through the roof. They're starting to pull back some, but not a lot. And then we have the mortgage rates, which are increasing. And I've heard talk of another 75-point basis increase on the Fed rate coming soon. So how will that be impacting the market? Will you ever be able to stop renting and become a homeowner? Have you kicked that can down the road enough, or will you have to continue to kick that can? So this whole combination, the housing market has been a dream killer to many renters out there, and they don't know what to do. They're basically renting houses, and that's killing them too. In a lot of cases, I've heard of rent increasing $800, $1,000 or whatever, significant amounts because of the way the market works, and owners will come in and say, hey, where's the market at? Can I increase the rent? Blah, blah, blah. And we all know how that goes. So what can you do? How can you keep that dream of home ownership alive? If you look at it, basically, if you look at interest rates, the cost of homes, the median price family home, the fact that if you put 10% down, it's jumped by about $800 since January, according to the National Association of Realtors, which is pretty significant. And it's enough to get people frazzled. And what this writer says, hey, take a pause, take a step back, try to think clearly. Don't give up. No and not yet. Learn the difference. Is it no on ever buying a home and paying that rent, or not yet? And what you might learn is maybe it might be a decrease compared to what you're paying in rent. This writer goes through strengthening your finances, and they tell you to look at mortgage rates, 20% for utilities, home insurance, property tax, and take that minus your rent, and that's how much extra money you're going to have to need to buy a house, because you're going to need that much extra every month, and to sock it away so that when you do buy a house, you'll know how much it's going to cost, and you'll be used to saving that money. Now, in some cases, it's different. A few years ago back, my rent was about $2,200 or whatever it was. It was up there pretty high, and buying a home dropped me down $700 a month because my mortgage was only $1,500. Now that's with my down payment and everything, and then using different programs. I'm a veteran, so I use some veteran. I got the VA loan. Different variables go into that, but so not necessarily, especially with the way rent prices are going now, it might be cheaper to get into that home. But you will have to secure the deposit that you'll have to put down. There's different programs that can help you out there, and I work closely with this guy Sel at a mortgage company, and he can look at you and tell you, all right, you're pre-approved for X amount, and he works closely with me and any of my buyers that I represent. So you do have options out there. But this whole case of doing this math that this writer writes about is basically so that you have that, what she called you want to have a smooth baton handoff from one renter you to homeowner you, which is always a good idea, because in many cases it might be an increase from what you're paying now in rent. And when you're ready to buy, you want to have that extra money socked away. And the other thing you should be doing, no matter what, if you're buying a house or not, is paying down your debt. Paying down the credit cards, paying down all debt. Those are the two measures they look at when they do your credit score, and they figure out your debt to income ratio, your DTI. And generally speaking, you want it at 36% or better, or lower. That's better. That's going to be imperative if you're going out and looking at a house. So you want to avoid big expenses that are going to drive up that DTI. Resist the temptation to go out there and splurge, according to this writer, which makes a lot of sense. Instead, pay down your credit card balance. Don't go out and buy a new car. Maybe, instead of a new car, get a used car. Different options out there, because they do focus on that when you go to buy your house. Now, I did put an article out, and if you go to Real Estate by Frankie, I have a section that says Real Estate News, and you'll see an article in there. I think I posted it a couple days ago, and it basically talked about pandemic issues during the pandemic, like loss of employment, will not be used against you. Some people may be thinking, oh God, the pandemic, my income isn't where it's at. And this article addressed that. So you can go there and read the article. I also posted on my Facebook page, which if you go and look for Frankie Abbruzzino, Florida Realtor, you'll find my Facebook page. Um, the other thing they said is reevaluate your needs, your wants, and your needs. This is actually an excellent idea, and it's a good time to look at the big picture. Do some soul searching when looking at a home. This, especially now, you look at the increase in the prices of the homes, the mortgage rates. You need to adjust those filters. You may need to shop in a different neighborhood. You may, instead of shopping over in Welland Park, maybe look in South Venice. Actually, the best case or scenario would be Northport. Northport, you tend to get more value for your homes. It's a lot cheaper there than in a Venice market, especially on the island, or a Sarasota market. So look at your neighborhood. Maybe instead of looking at a neighborhood where you're going to get a house that is $800,000, maybe you can get the same features: pool, gated community, 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, over in Welland Park for 300 less, for 400,000 or 500,000. So look at that. Don't be so fixated on living in X community. Look at your different options. Relocating to another city, that's another option too. If you're, it's kind of hard sometimes if you're employed and you got to stay in one city, so that can be difficult. So a lot of people I know, though, will live in Northport and travel all the way to Sarasota for their jobs because it's just a little bit easier in home ownership. So those are some options, and always keep in touch with your agent and your lender. Now, as I said, I work with Sel. He will go in and keep in touch with you, tell you where you're at. He will give you, let you know how much you're qualified to buy a home for. They'll work the numbers. He works closely with me to do what he can do to get you in a program. He'll look at the different programs. Hometown Heroes has a program which is different from the State Heroes program. If you're VA, there's so many different programs out there that they can try to utilize to try to get you in the house and help you with down payments and every other aspect of the financing. And then staying in touch with your realtor. I have programs with Stellar MLS where you can say, hey Frank, this is the type of house I'm looking for: 3 bedroom, 2 bath, pool, gate, HOA, no HOA, all the specifics. We'll plug that in, and you'll get an email every day when a house comes on the market that matches your specifications. Then you just look them over. You look at the view. You see if it's exactly what you want. Because sometimes you can tell me what you want. I'll plug it in. You'll get it, and you'll look at the house. And you're like, I don't know. I don't like the community. I don't like this. Whatever. So if you like it, you give me a call and say, hey Frankie, I just saw this house. Can you take me? We'll show it to me. We'll go show it to you and see what happens. It is still a very difficult market out there. There's more inventory becoming available, but not a lot. So it is still it's in between a buyer-seller's market, more of the seller along those lines. And that's what you got to do. So keeping the dream alive. You don't have to rent forever. Sometimes you can go out and buy a house and your rent will drop significantly. Your mortgage rate will drop, and you're paying less in a mortgage than you were renting, as in my case. Sometimes it might go up significantly. Saving money, getting that DTI down low below 36%, and maybe readjusting. Instead of wanting to move to the Oaks, look at moving into Pinebrook. Instead of living on the island in Venice, maybe look at moving into Northport. Different options. All right, everybody. This has been Frankie Abbruzzino with EDG Realty. You can contact me at realestatebyfrankie.com, 941-483-6633. Look me up on Facebook, Frankie Abbruzzino, Florida Realtor. On there I put news and everything, and I do have an open house this weekend on Sunday. It's going for $1.2 million, so I don't know how many people have that big of a pocketbook, but if you do, I'll be posting that information. You can come out and check it out. All right, everybody, have a great day. This has been Frankie with EDG Realty.